All right, so why do we need hobbies? Well, we need hobbies because a lot of us, let's be real, we forgot how to play. We forgot how to do things just for the sake of doing it without turning it into a project or without turning it into a business or a pitch deck or our entire new identity or just to have fun. And to be honest, a lot of us do things through the gaze of someone else or for the gaze of someone else. So maybe that's why we stopped doing things. Maybe you got coupled up, or maybe adulting just hit really, really hard, or maybe that parent who used to, push you and who kind of was living vicariously through you through the sport you were playing, maybe that stopped. We don't have to make things our entire personalities. We don't have to make it our brand. We just kind of have to remember how to do things for ourselves and do things that light us up. Because a lot of us were raised with productivity is the only value in it. And if you weren't producing and it wasn't making money, or if there wasn't an end game, or if there wasn't a purpose, why would you do it in the first place? We were taught that if you're not good at it from the jump, then you're embarrassed. And if it's not impressive, it doesn't count. I mean, how many of us played sports or were in a club or did something because it was going to look good on the college applications? Or how many of us did things or even joined projects at work because it would later look good on our resume? Did we even really want to be doing it? No, I've sat on so many committees at work that I have not wanted to because someone was like, oh, one day this is going to look good on your resume. But it's like, what? Who cares? Again, if it's important to you, if it feels important, if that new role or that new leadership, title is going to make you feel accomplished, it's going to make you feel good, then yeah, go sit on that committee. But I had no interest in like doing half of these jobs or being involved with half of these things. I was just doing it because people were telling me this is what I was supposed to be doing. And somewhere along the way, I also rebranded my hobbies as side hustles. Look at photography. I used to do photography just because I loved it, because it brought me absolute pure bliss and joy. I was in total play when I was doing photography. And then things got a little rough for us financially, and I had to figure out a side hustle, and I figured needed to figure out how to make money quick. So I turned my side hustle and my joy and my hobby into income. And then the next thing I knew, I was just photographing because I had to, because it was a gig and I didn't do any projects or any passion projects that I liked. You can paint without selling a print. You can cook without starting a food blog and having to teach the entire internet how you make your chicken salad sandwich, babe. Like, you can do this. You can knit without opening the Etsy shop. And you can do things even because they're not monetizable or because they're not aesthetic. It doesn't have to be aesthetic for it to count. And this is why I think we all feel so numb and why we're so burnt out and why our screen time is 7 hours a day, because we literally forgot how to play. We forgot how to get lost in the moment. We forgot how to not be performative or have an end result or turn it into something. We forgot how to just be ourselves, honestly. And I promise you that this is going to bring you back to yourself, not your curated Instagram self, not your productive self, but your real inner child healed self or healing self, wherever you are in all of this. And for me, it brought me back to that like slightly chaotic, interested. Maybe people are like, what is she doing? That's kind of weird. Or maybe they're like, ooh, what's she doing? I need to do that. I want to do that too. It kind of brought me back to that person who got left behind when adulting really took over and when life got super, super serious for me. And I am so glad I am back to her because it literally has helped me rewire my brain. Okay, so Nurse Corner, real quick, how do hobbies rewire my brain? Studies have shown that having a hobby and engaging in creative leisure and creative artistic activities increases dopamine, reduces cortisol, and can even promote neuroplasticity, which is basically your brain's ability to adapt and heal. Okay? That means hobbies can literally be good for your emotional regulation and they can help you get unstuck. Do you need any more reason to want to do this? So let me say this as clearly as I can. Hobbies literally retrain your brain. This is not BS. This is not fluff. This is neuroscience. Okay? When you do something for fun and not because you want to try to be good at it or not because you want to brag about it and not because you want to post about it, it activates a part of your brain called the default mode network, which is basically where your creativity lives. It's also where your brain sorts memories and kind of chills the hell out emotionally. Okay? And here's the wild part that like most people miss with all of this. Hobbies literally help your brain understand that you are still safe even when you're not being productive. So if you were one of those people who had that parent over your shoulder who always wanted you to be doing, or you were the person that only got love if you were doing well and you were succeeding and you were getting good grades and you cleaned your room and you came home and you did this and you got your homework done and you walked the dog and you took out the trash and that's the only time you felt love, that's the only time you felt safe, hobbies will help fix that. Do you need any more reason to do this? They will build new pathways and it will help your brain learn that it is safe, that you are safe, so you can kind of chill out, okay? We live in a world that wants you to constantly be monetizing everything, that wants you to constantly be performing, that constantly wants you to be hustling, that wants you, even in your free time and even in your rest, to be doing something. Hello, doom scrolling. But a hobby doesn't need to be a business plan. It doesn't need to become content. It doesn't need to get a round of applause. It just needs to help you get back to yourself. It needs to help you find joy. And in turn, it will, as a byproduct, help you with all this emotional regulation and help you kind of find a fulfilling dopamine hit that will sustain you over time. And I know most of you are, most of you are going to be like, well, what's my hobby? What should I do? That's you overthinking it. That's you trying to be performative. That's you trying to be impressive. We are not trying to do any of that. Hobby just needs to be fun and it just needs to be yours. So let's start here. What did you love as a kid? What did you get jealous of when you saw other people doing it that you wish you could do as a kid? Maybe we start there. What sport, what club, what pastime were you not allowed to join as a kid that you really wanted to? Maybe you didn't have the money. Maybe you didn't have a ride there. Maybe your parents just wouldn't let you. Whatever the reason, maybe they didn't have it in your city or your town. What are those things? That's all I want you to think about right now. And then we're going to talk types of hobbies because not all hobbies are created equal for the brain. So we're going to get into that. But I want to see what comes up for you first before I kind of like dump truck all this stuff on you. All right, we have high dopamine hobbies. Think fast paced, think reward driven, often competitive like sports. You get a quick hit, and that quick hit might leave you craving more. Examples of this: competitive sports, video games, trading, investing. For some people, gambling. Yes, it's a hobby. Social media content creation, social media. Those are kind of high dopamine hobbies. There's more, but I'm just kind of, like whatever. This isn't a lecture. Low dopamine hobbies. These are hobbies that help you build satisfaction slowly. They ground you. Think of like a high dopamine hobby as like an espresso, and think of a low dopamine hobby as like a matcha. Still caffeine, but it carries a little bit longer. The low dopamine hobbies usually help with feeling burnout. They help with overthinking. They help with feeling scattered. Things like knitting, gardening, journaling, hiking. Ow, this chair. Learning an instrument, painting, puzzles, slow crafts. You don't have to pick one or the other. One is not better than the other. But if you're feeling kind of overwhelmed or you're feeling a little bit, too turned up, maybe start with the low dopamine hobby. If competition is only going to burn you out more, stay away from those high dopamine hobbies. Maybe hit the low ones. If you're going to think you have to turn it into a business or a Fortune 500 company, that little knitting project that you started, maybe not do that. So again, you know what you need, you know how you are, turn the mirror on yourself, be a little bit more self-aware. Or maybe you need a little kick in the pants, like my grandfather used to say. And maybe you do need to get a little bit more confidence. And maybe you do need to get a little unstuck. And maybe you do need a little win under your belt so you can kind of move and shake a little bit different. In that case, maybe you need a high dopamine hobby. Okay? So just think about it. Nothing is wrong or right. I'm going to give you some ideas of hobbies, but I want you to sit with this and think about what comes up for you first. The moment you decide to turn this into a competition or into a business, and that includes competing with yourself, that is correct. I say that as a recovering perfectionist. I am here. This is life from the inside. I've lived it. Your girl is definitely a recovering perfectionist. The moment that happens, it's not a hobby. I want you to pick something that you don't need. Pick something that feels like play. Maybe something you haven't even tried yet. Maybe something you're not good at. Oh, and by the way, having a hobby is going to make you more interesting, which in turn is going to make you more hot because people who are passionate and people who are joyful and people who are interesting are more magnetic and more intriguing. And that in turn is going to lead to more conversation, maybe your aura being a little bit more lit up, people being more attracted to you, maybe it'll lead to more business deals, maybe it'll lead to more charisma, maybe it'll lead you to being a little bit more extroverted. Again, this all has compounding effects in many areas of your life. Plus all that dopamine and serotonin you're going to have going, you're going to be glowing, babe. And it is not going to be the Lemaire. And I think monetizing all this and trying to make it a thing is one of the reasons why we're so burnt out and why we feel so numb. And also why our screen time is like 7 hours a day and why we just can't get off the scroll. We're searching for dopamine. We're searching for the hit. And we forgot how to just be curious. We forgot how to just do things because they feel good and find that dopamine naturally. And I think with play and I think with having hobbies, I was able to find different sources of dopamine this summer, and it really helped me kind of as a byproduct cut down my screen time, which I didn't think was going to happen, but it did, because now I'm like, oh man, I would rather go take a bike ride than sit here and watch somebody else like live life on Instagram. So I promise you that this is going to bring you back to you. All of this and like looking for hobbies and figuring things out and just trying it and just like throwing spaghetti against the wall is going to help you get back to yourself. I promise you that. It did it for me. It may take a little bit of time. It took me like kind of 2-3 months to like get into the groove, but I promise you, like once this start and once this clicks, like it's kind of like an avalanche. It's just going to keep going and you're just going to kind of like want to try more and put yourself out there more. And it also gives you like this, I don't know, it gives you like this weird self-confidence because it's kind of like your thing. It's a little like secret, I don't know, a secret jolt that you have like in your pocket or in your corner that you can kind of go to, that you know is going to like fill you up and give you like a little bit of a boost. And yeah, like if I'm in a really shitty mood, now I kind of turn to one of the hobbies I started over the summer and I can kind of like turn my mood really quick. It's great. Like I'm telling you, this really kind of worked for me. We need play. And a lot of us have forgotten how to play, including me. And if you're into like manifesting or mindset or flow and healing and all those things, they will tell you play is one of the most important things you need to be doing to get into flow. Because when we're in play, we are really, really detached and we're not trying to control outcomes. We're not, again, sports, etc., competition, very, very different from unfiltered, detached play. Just think about it. Play is you being so present and you in the moment without a desired outcome, without the profession, I'm sorry, without the pressure of trying to win and without doing it for any type of performance. That's why play really sparks so much joy, really gets you in flow, and can really help you kind of like subconsciously make things happen. I'll do a Substack on that. And if you're not on my Substack, you probably should be. All the information is below. It's the art of self. It's a good time over there. It's good. It's a good time over here too, but it's also a good time over there. And I think a lot of the times when we're not playing, whether we're doing it on purpose or subconsciously, we're kind of doing things for performance and for through the gaze, right? Or for the gaze of someone else. And I think we have to pull back from that. I think we have to stop. I mean, a lot of us are guilty of trying to make our whole personality a brand, an aesthetic. We're trying to curate the perfect Instagram feed or TikTok. We won't even have, those not so complimenting photos on Instagram. We'll have a Finstagram. We have a whole other account for it. And I think we forgot how to do things just for us and just that lights us up and makes us feel good. I want you to open your phone to the calendar app right now or go get your planner. If you're a millennial like me, you have a paper planner. Like, let's be realistic. And I want you to pick 2 days this month. One is maybe going to be for figuring out your hobby or trying something that you already kind of abandoned that's in your wheelhouse and you can do really pretty easily and accessible. And then the other one, you're going to take a class or you're going to go try something new or you're going to go try a new hobby. And that's what I want you to do. I feel like now as an adult, having a hobby is a form of resistance. And I feel like right now, just out there in the dumpster fire, everybody wants us hustling. Everybody wants us turning something into money. They want us grinding. And no one is really encouraging rest. No one's really encouraging play. No one's encouraging, ways for you to kind of fill your own cup and make yourself feel good without, buying 40 new pairs of sweatpants off a TikTok shop. You can find things that are inexpensive that help you feel safe. You can find things that are inexpensive that help your brain, create these neural pathways that create these feel good hormones. It doesn't require money, even. I think that's a form of resistance. And I think that's a huge form of self care. I think it's a great way to connect with your inner child. I think it's going to make you feel safe. I think it's going to make you feel hotter. I think it's going to make you feel more self-confident. I think it's going to make you have a better relationship with yourself. So go dance like nobody's watching. Go be bad at something. Go be amazing at something. Do it for the plot and let yourself have fun. Let yourself enjoy being with you again and being just unapologetically you. And then go do it again, because this is your official permission slip to go do the thing that makes absolutely no sense, that doesn't fit your niche, that isn't productive, that can't double down as content. You don't need to make this new hobby your identity. You don't need to be the best at it. You don't need to monetize it. You just need something that reminds you of you. And ultimately, what reminds you of what it's like to feel alive and what it's like to feel good. Hot hobby summer didn't stop in August for me. It's something I'm going to continue and do all year. It was just my start. So if maybe you're a little late to the party, go do a hot hobby fall, do a hot hobby winter. I don't know. Can we do a hot hobby winter? Yeah, because you're going to need to be warm. It's cold. Just do whatever your personal rebellion is against burnout culture, hustle culture, pressure, and performative everything. Go pick something random, go be bad at it, but go try it. And meet me back here for the next video where I tell you everything I did and I kind of give you a glimpse into how I spent my summer and the things that made me feel really alive again and why I'm so absolutely excited to share this with you. Until then, go get a hobby. Go outside.